Hello, hello, hello. I'm a couple of minutes early because the last time I tried to go live, I had a glitch. So I figured it'd be better to come on a little earlier. So, for those who are going to be able to come on live with me, fantastic. For those who are going to see this video later on, that's fine too. But I am on a couple of minutes early. Usually I would do a video and upload it to the channel, right? And people would see it that way. But whenever I try, hello, hello, I know I'm a couple of minutes early. Hello, I'm a couple of minutes early, but I decided to come on early to make sure that I wouldn't have a glitch this week. Because the last time I tried to, hello, let you know I see you. The last time I tried to go on live on time, something weird happened. So better early than late. That's the way I see it. And by the way, can you hear me? Give me a yes or a thumbs up. If you all can hear me fine, let me know. Mic check, mic check. Great, great, great. Okay. And for like I said, hello. I see we have more coming on. Hello, hello. Oh, I'm so glad some of you all could join me this evening. Hello. Yes, I need more light. I know. I thought I set up the light. I didn't want to be late. So forgive me. Forgive me this forgive me tonight. I do not have more light. Usually I'll have more light set up. And I was just so determined. Let me see if I can do it this way. I was so determined to not be late and have a glitch until I just jumped on. Now, I know we're going to have people who are going to see these videos after the fact. That's great. But I just love it when I could also have participants come on live with me. That's always great too. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, and for those who are going to see this in the future, this channel is Doctors Wilbert and Gloria Scott Purposeful Living. This is the channel that we're on, and this is where we talk about life, honestly. And we talk about things that help us live life on purpose. That's what we're doing. We're talking about things that help us live life on purpose and to be more on point with what we're doing. Hello, for those who are coming in. So that's what this channel is all about. I am Dr. Yolanda Ratcliffe. Yes. And this is Doctors Wilbert and Gloria Scott Purposeful Living. And we're going to talk about things that pertain to life. And we're going to talk about things that are going to encourage us and help us stay on track for things that we really want to accomplish. And that's what we're doing tonight. And one of the things we're checking in with tonight, the last live stream that we had, we were talking about vision boards and why vision boards are so important. And there are other things we're talking about tonight also. But one of the things we are definitely touching on is a vision board update. And I can tell you, I can't speak for everyone else, but life happens, right? Things in life happen. It always does. I had one of those moments. I had a life happens moment, as we all often do. But in the midst of that, what we want to talk about is how do you still continue to move on with what it is you know you're supposed to be doing, right? Many of us, hello, hello. Oh, okay. I see we have Veronica, we have Kalitha, we have Rama in the house. Thank you. Thank you all so much for coming on. And we have a few others. So if you're on, just put a hello so I can see who you are, right? If you don't mind, give a little comment and I can give you a little shout out for coming on live with me tonight. I appreciate that. But that's what we're talking about tonight. Being on point, even in the midst of life happens. Because if we're realistic, life happens. We can have a plan, we can know exactly what it is we plan to do, and then life happens. And then we have to readjust, but we still have to stay on task. So, what do we do when that happens? Because the last live, we were talking about vision boards and what each of us envisioned for our lives and things that we wanted to accomplish. And we talked about how we can break it up into baby steps. to not make it so overwhelming, especially for those of us who are extremely busy and have all types of things going on in their lives. So, I guess the question I'll start with by answering for myself. The first step that I had in one of the tasks that I wanted to do, right? Because there were three different things I wanted to make sure that I got started rolling for the year. And I did start these things, but I noticed that as life was happening, I started to slow down again. So, what did I do when that happened? I instantly broke those steps down into even smaller steps. Why? Because if we can show that we are still making progress, even if it isn't initially what we wanted to do, it's still progress and it's still getting done. So, breaking the steps down into smaller steps is okay if you're in a season of life happens. And that's what I call it when those unexpected things just come about. Hello, hello. So, if that happened to you, were you still able to make any progress on your vision boards? That's what we're asking tonight. Don't give up, don't stop. If you weren't able to get the first and second step done on the vision board of what it is you wanted to start accomplishing this year, break it down into smaller steps. You can still get it done. And vision boards can encompass a lot. I mean, it can be something from a lot of people, it's creative outlets. Some people want to write books, record songs. Some people want to be artists. I mean, there's so many things you can do that are creative. Whatever that is, whatever it is you want to give more time to and complete, put it on your vision board. And if it hasn't been completed, break it into smaller steps. Some people have financial goals. Many people have financial goals. Creative outlets, better health. Usually in a new year, one of the main things people focus on is I want to get my money straight and I want to get healthier, right? That's just about on everybody's vision board, money and health. But then for some people, they want to start a new business, or like I said, they want to use their creative expression to complete a project, whatever it is. Don't stop. That's what we're here to do. Encourage each other. Don't stop. Life happens. If you're living, life is going to happen. Sometimes it's easier, but life will happen. So what do? You keep going. You keep moving. So if we have some that want to comment tonight, you can, but have you started on your vision board? Because last month, and by the way, for anyone who's here tonight that wasn't on with us last month, have you even done a vision board? It's not too late. It's just March. There are 9 months left in the year. Hey, there are 12 days left in the month. I'll go one better. Hello, there are 12 days left in this month. It's never too late if you haven't already started your vision board, writing down exactly what it is you would love to start accomplishing for this year. And if you have written it down, how far along have you gotten? And if life started happening and you got thrown a little off course, get back on. Let's encourage each other. Get back on. Let's get it done. And if you're willing to share, because some people talk to me in the email outside of the live, and I understand that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can put that in here. Purposeful together. Okay, let me put my glasses on so I can see what it is I'm typing. Purposeful together @gmail.com. Right. So I have some that communicate with me in the email outside of the live. And we're talking, and people were talking about what it is, they do envision for their vision boards. And we're talking about having accountability and encouraging each other. Whatever that is, it might be, because the best of us, I tell you, we will write down what it is we want to do, and you'd be surprised how much we would just put it off. Yes. Yes. Oh, good. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, Veronica, you've been making better choices when you get caught eating out. Oh, don't get me started. We're going to touch on that. Oddly enough, you'd be surprised. A lot of the questions and comments I get is revolving around our health. And I know why I get a lot of that is because I made such a huge transformation in my life. And that part about eating out, whoa, that is one of the hugest things we can do, right? Other than making changes at home. Oh, well, no. The first major thing we can do is not bring the bad stuff home and leave it in the house. At least don't ever bring the stuff home. And that way, if we're late in the evening or at night and we get the munchies, we don't have something to just easily grab. I'm just saying, it worked for me. Yes. So for some people, for a lot of people, getting healthier and eating healthier is one of the goals. I mean, that's just about everybody though, right? Usually New Year's resolutions, that's why the gym memberships explode. And then I was one of them. Can I tell on myself? I didn't do it this year, but last year. And then I realized, I don't know if it was because of the COVID thing, but I kind of preferred not to be working out in the gym. So now sometimes I consider going back. I don't know. But yeah, that's usually one of the main things. Hello. I know we have some more coming in. If you don't mind, give us a quick hello, a hi, and then I can see who you are. But yeah, so whatever it is, it's what you envision for your life. And it is important. Do not take for granted. Hello. Hi, Nadra. Thank you for joining us. Don't ever take for granted how important it is to cultivate those things. Oh, so with Rama, I was not able to stay on task with my goals. However, I am starting again. Of course. Oh, I have started eliminating processed sugar, lost 11 pounds. Although my journey is about taking care of my health, not weight. Oh, you know what? That's a great point. Let's talk about that. Many people say, wow, I just love to lose weight, right? And I have said over and over and over again, when I started getting healthier, eating healthier, it wasn't about losing weight. That's a byproduct of it. I just wanted to feel better. When you are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, you just, hello, Dorothy. Hi, Kim, hello. You make changes when you just get tired of it. You just get sick and tired of it, right? So, yes, you've lost 11 pounds. And that wasn't the goal. The goal was just to get healthy. But you'd be surprised how when you start eating real food, how the body will just start getting rid of stuff that it's not supposed to have. And that's internally and externally. So, yeah, but that was one of the things on my vision board that carried over from last year was to get healthier, stay on track. That was definitely on my vision board. So just because it was something I started last year and had success with, yeah, what did you say, Veronica? Remember the oysters. I'll get to that in a minute. Just because it's something I started last year didn't mean I got to this year and I was like, oh, okay, I did that, done that. Oh, no. This is an ongoing thing. And I took it serious enough to write down what I still wanted to do, which was to closely watch my processed food intake. Because all of us from time to time have a little processed stuff, but many people say, what do you eat? And the last video I did, I told you all what I did. I ate real food, how I had the salads. I don't know if I can share it with you all while I'm on here live. You know what? I'm sure I can. I don't know how. I'll just learn how to show pictures of what I eat live while I'm on live with you. But what I will do is do a video and upload it, showing it in full. Because the last video I did, I just kind of, said, hey, this is what I eat, but I didn't show it in the bowl all together, I don't think. So Yeah, real food. Whenever I look at my plate, I literally look at it and say, is this real food? And if there's anything on the plate that is not real food, I make sure it's minimal. And Veronica said, remember the oysters. Yeah, she was talking about how she was just out, went out somewhere to get something to eat, and how oysters is a real food. And I tell people, I'm no doctor. I can't tell anyone how to eat, whether they eat, carnivore, if they're mostly meat, or some people are just vegetarians, or some people, pescatarian. There's so many names out there. But the key is what you're eating real. Let's just start there. How about that? Stop drinking sugar, and is what you're eating real? Now, I will start doing not fried. Yes, now, now Veronica said not fried. Okay, full disclosure. Maybe 3 months ago, I started concentrating on making sure it's not fried. I should have been giving up the fried stuff, but now I use an air fryer. But I was just so by the tip of my nails, making sure I could get off of the sugar, right? And make sure that I could cut down on the processed stuff. I said fried was the last thing on my list because I had to cut down greatly on breads because it's processed, right? So then and Dr. Scott, she makes a wonderful cauliflower bread at home. You can make your own bread without all of the wheat flour. So yes, we're talking about vision boards too, but we're talking about the food portion is because a lot of what people ask me about is that, and that's on a lot of people's vision boards. So even if you have it on there that that's something you want to do, it makes sense to kind of reach out to someone who you've seen done it, right? So I get that. So yeah, I no longer eat the deep fried stuff because it's in the bad oils, what is that? The canola, the cottonseed oil, the sunflower oil, all of that stuff. Now I'll eat olive oil on my salads. And what else? Coconut oil. You use some of that. Hello, hello. So yeah, we're talking about the vision boards and what it is we want to accomplish for the year. And we're encouraging everyone, whatever it is you want to get done this year, do not give up. And personally, I'm asking everyone, whether health is on your vision board or not, put it on there. Why not? Make health one of those things because we could have all of the dreams in the world that we would love to accomplish. But if our health is in the dumpster, we're not going to feel like doing a lot of stuff. And how much are we really going to get done if we're not servicing our health, right? Eating real food. So, yes, vision board. If you have not been taking the steps on your vision board that we discussed last month because life has happened, don't give up, get right back on track. And if you're someone who hasn't actually written those things down, do it tonight. Write it down. Don't give up on it. I don't care how much life happens. Do not give up. Oh, okay. Okay, Rayma, I'll talk about that. We're going to talk about insulin resistance. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but what I can tell you I had to do was do a lot of reading because of my personal situation. Yes, let's see. Been on, had to create a new channel in order to send a message. Great. Oh, hi. Okay. Great, Bianca. Thank you for coming on. Look, I was insulin resistant. And what that means is I was consuming so much sugar, right? That my body had to constantly, it kept spiking my insulin all day, every day. And if we keep flooding our bodies with sugar, right? The insulin comes into our body, that hormone gets spiked because it's tapping on our blood vessels and our cells saying, hey, get all of this sugar out of your system. Because whenever we have too much sugar in our system, it's poison to us. But my cells were tired of constantly getting knocked on. The insulin kept saying, hello, hello, you got to get this sugar out of your system. Hello, because I kept putting all of the sugar in my system. And then my cells, my blood cells started saying, okay, no, insulin, we're ignoring you now because you've been bugging us every day, all day. So my cells became resistant to insulin. So now the sugar kept floating in my system because my cells didn't want to take the sugar out of my system anymore. Why? Because my insulin kept bugging my cells all day, every day. We have sugar. You got to get the sugar out of here. We have sugar. That's what insulin does. So if insulin is constantly in our bodies, it starts destroying our vessels. It makes our arteries hard. So our cells become insulin resistant. So, you have type 2 diabetics, and basically they're giving them more insulin in their body because they think, well, we got to give them more insulin because their cells won't take the sugar out of their bodies. Yeah, but really, type 2, they have insulin. It's just that the cells don't want to take the sugar out anymore because they're always getting bugged by the hey, you got too much sugar. This is what insulin does. It keeps knocking on the cells. Take this sugar, take this sugar. And finally, the cells get tired of doing it. So they become resistant, insulin resistant. So that was me. And that's why my A1C was at 6.4, because I was about to be a full-blown diabetic. Now, many doctors will tell you 6.5 and above is considered diabetic, but they'll tell you 6.4, one little point. They're like, come on, you're practically diabetic. It's just one extra point. So I had to make some changes. So what did I do? I had to instantly stop drinking sugar. That was the first thing I did. No sugar. I drink no sugar. And I discussed that even in the last video, because it's going to instantly raise my insulin. It's going to spike insulin. That's right. It's going to spike insulin. And then the insulin is going to go knocking on the cells. We have sugar. You got to take it. So I don't give my body quick sugar. Because let's face it, different things that we eat will spike our insulin. We're going to consume some sugar, but I'm never going to consume, not never. I give myself a treat every blue moon, but I'm going to discuss that in a minute. But you can't just keep flooding your body with sugar. So bread is a processed food. And is it so bad for us? Because of the wheat flour and the whatever other types of flours they throw. So whenever we make something at home, we know what's in it. Sugar and preservatives and chemicals, all types of stuff go in there. So I had to stop drinking sugar. Then I had to detox off of the bread because it was breaking down into, the bread just breaks down into quick sugar in the system. That's what I had to do because I was insulin resistant and I was about to be diabetic. By the way, the last time I got my blood sugar checked, it was 5.3. No diet pills, no crazy, only drink, you know how you used to do, what is it? The only drink this type of juice, only drink this type of tea, all of the gimmicks that were out there. It wasn't that. I simply stopped drinking sugar. Thank you. Thank you. And the bread, every blue moon. So I had a decision to make. Would I rather eat bread, or would I rather every blue moon have one of those oatmeal raisin cookies that I really like? Which, by the way, I can't even eat those now because they're way too sweet for me. I'm going to have to start making my own. Great. So yours was 5.6 last week. Great. So you just need to bring it down a little more. That's great. That is fantastic. The more we cut down on the sugar, the less insulin resistant we will be. So that way, when we do consume something that's sweet, we just have a little spike in insulin. It comes in, it sweeps the sugar out quickly and get it out of the way. It's a normal event. It's not something where the insulin is just spiked for a long time and is just coursing through the veins because it can't get the cells to take the sugar out of our system. And the longer we have that insulin floating in our system at a high level like that, the more it destroys our vessels and makes them hard and brittle. So that's insulin resistance. So in case you haven't figured it out, cut down on sugar. A lot. Cut down on processed food. A lot. Now, I'm talking about my vision board. I don't know if it's on your vision board, but my goal is to only keep processed food to maybe 10% of the time. And whenever, by the way, because I was asked this also, let's say, which I'm not going to have those oatmeal raisin cookies anymore because now they're too sweet to me. I almost had a sugar rush headache. I think that's what I got. It was just so sweet. Because the more you cut down on sugar, the more you will realize that a lot of the stuff we were eating is just loaded with sugar. But if and when I do have a treat, I don't do this all day. It's earlier in the day. I'll have it, and then that'll be it. And I don't eat all day. I'm not your doctor. For those who are on medicine, you have to talk to your doctor before doing things like that. But my eating window never goes outside of 10 hours. I eat everything I'm going to eat within 10 hours. The majority of the days is within 8 hours. But whenever I want to be a little extra, I'll stretch it to 10 hours. Anything outside of that, I'm not eating. But my normal day is 6 to 8 hours. I'll eat everything within that window. And after that, other than that, I'm drinking black coffee, tea, as it is with, you can add some lemon or whatever, but I don't add any dairy or sugar to my tea or my coffee. Or I drink sparkling water or I drink regular water. That's all I drink. If I'm ever going out and we're having this great dinner, because some people have wine, sometimes they don't. I couldn't tell you the last time I've had a glass of wine, but if I were going to, it is going to be the bitter, bitter, bitter red wine. It's not going to be anything with a bunch of sugar added in it. Let's see. Right. Now we have someone, yes, I have been pre-diabetic for 4 years. By God's grace, I am determined to bring my A1C from 5.8 back to 5. Yes. Now, let's not take pre-diabetic lightly. Because a lot of people are like, well, I'm not diabetic, so I'm fine. But think about it. If you're just 1 or 2 points, if you're like 6.3 for years, 6.4, some people 6.5. If you're pre-diabetic, well, actually, is it 5.7? Anything above 5.7, they call pre-diabetic these days. That means that there is a high level of sugar that continually is floating in the system. That's too much. So we really have to cut down on the sugar. So yeah, that's my little soapbox. But that's what I got a lot of questions about, actually. So I'm talking about it. I had quite a few people who talked about that. Yes. Rayma saying, I thought I could not drink black coffee, but now I can. You guys. Oh. And we have Doretha said she was 246. Now she's 197 since I have stopped eating the processed foods. That is amazing. Let me tell you something. Coffee, for those who do not know, there are some people who don't drink coffee. I get it. Well, then do the tea. But do it plain. Don't do it with the sugar and the cream and the creamers or whatever. But coffee has polyphenols. It's bitter. It's been known to really help with the health. So if you are a coffee drinker, if you could just get the real beans and grind them up, or always get the coffee that's ground up from the beans. If you could drink the coffee black, you would be getting the best benefit from it. Cream and sugar just negates what it is the coffee is really doing for you, just putting it out there. But cutting down on that processed food, you are right, Doretha. I tell you, you are right. What about the teas? Oh yeah, I drink tea. Green tea, so you have ginger tea, green tea, some people have black tea, but guess what? I boil the water, put it on the tea leaves or the tea bag, and that's it. Now you can add a little spice. There are times when I'll add a little dash of ginger, or if you want to put a little dash of turmeric, which I've since learned, you put a little black pepper with it. There are little things you can do to spice things up, but don't add any sugar or dairy and negate what it is it's doing for you. But that is great, Doretha. Great. Yes, cinnamon. That's another one. Of course, you don't overload it with cinnamon, but yes. Now, if you're in a fasted state, I wouldn't do the cinnamon because I don't know if the cinnamon kind of spikes insulin a little bit. It's not bad though. Cinnamon is good. Now, I was talking about an eating window. Sometimes I have breakfast, sometimes I don't. But if I do have breakfast, then I immediately count back about 8 hours. And I'll be like, okay, I'm not eating anything after that particular time for the day. So yeah. It's amazing. And I know the majority of what I'm talking about is dealing with diet and health, but I mean, that's what most people want to talk about. Oh, you are not a soda person. Yeah, you can break it down into topic specific. Really, drink no sugar. I mean, no sugar. Because some people say, well, I don't drink soda. Okay, are you drinking any other sugar? Orange juice is sugar. Fruit juice is sugar. It's sugar. Eat the fruit. Because if you can't just eat the fruit, if you just have to have the juice, really what you're craving is the sugar, and that's it. Yes. Oh, they are very good for inflammation, which is why I usually put turmeric and ginger, put a little dash in my coffee. I hadn't done the cinnamon. I don't know. I guess I can try that. Why not? But if health is on your vision board, take the steps. I got to tell you, the first one is to stop drinking sugar. Because you could say, how some people be like, oh, I'm not going to eat pork. I'm not going to eat anything fried. I'm not going to eat cookies. Yeah, whatever your preference is, I'm not going to do this and that. But then they're chugging sugar every day. What? You're drinking sugar. So we're still destroying our arteries by doing that. So whatever it is that's on your vision board, stick to it. Don't give up. Okay, we're going to be what is good for fluid buildup. Now, I'm not a doctor, but think about it. Usually fluid buildup has to do with stuff that you're consuming. Think about it. Is this something that just happened overnight? Is it something that's been slowly happening? If you're having fluid buildup, that can be a number of things. You would want to talk to your doctor about that. But the first thing you want to do is make sure that you've cut out the processed stuff. You're not drinking sugar, and you're not consuming bad oils. That's another thing you have to look out for. If you're doing those three things and you're still having fluid buildup, then you have to go to your doctor. But those are the three major things that would have to do with fluid buildup. Let's see. Yeah. So just to answer that question about fluid buildup, I'm determined to not bring debt into my marriage, debt-free before the year is out. That's amazing. It takes a lot of discipline, but that's a good thing. Debt-free. And I often tell people, man, think about it on your vision board. If you just sacrifice for a little time to get what you want, it'll be worth it. What about reading labels on all foods? Oh, yes. Yes. Please read the labels, even things that are healthy. What is it? Oh, there are some stores that sell cauliflower bread. You better read the labels. They'll have so many preservatives and sneaky sugar in there, and they'll have wheat flour and all that stuff in it, and only, but they have a little cauliflower in it. So read your labels very carefully. You don't want the bad oils. But back to what you were talking about with the inflammation and fluid buildup. Bad oils, processed food, that's a major culprit of that. How about medicine? Yeah, if you're taking medicine, you have to talk to your doctor about that. Meaning, anybody who's greatly cutting down on sugar, but then they're taking like what is that? The metformins and the other stuff that you take that lowers blood sugar, then you have to really be telling your doctor what you're doing, because you'd be surprised how your numbers will start changing. So if you're taking a medicine to do all types of weird things in your body and you're naturally doing some things, you want to let your doctor know, because they may have to cut down on the amount of medicine you're taking. That's happened to a lot of people. Sodium, and make sure you get enough rest, will cause fluid buildup. Well, yeah, sleep is very important. Sodium too, but that's a whole nother subject, because a lot of people think it's about too much sodium, and that's many times that's not it. That's just a byproduct of what's going on. A lot of people have given salt a bad name, but like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm just going by what I've experienced. For some people who are fasting, if you're trying to go a certain amount of time in the day, you put a little pinch of salt in the water and it will stabilize your electrolytes. So salt is very important, by the way. So people who say, oh, I'm eating no salt, you are messing up your electrolytes big time. We have what's called a sodium potassium pump in our body that feeds our cells and keeps us energized and stuff. So look into that. So cutting out all sodium, I'm no doctor. I'm just saying. Yeah, Himalayan salt is a good thing. So it's not so much too much salt. It's too much bad oils, processed food. The more you cut that out, the more the rest of the stuff will come in line. But yeah, being debt-free before, well, hey, whether you're single or married, cutting down on debt is always a good thing. Should we have an emergency fund before we pay off debts? Yeah. Yeah, because you want to have some money in the bank. Because think about it, if you're paying down your debts and then you have an emergency and you have to go back into debt, what good is that? So you want to have an emergency fund set aside. And then as you're paying down debts, if an emergency pops off, then that next month that extra money you were going to put toward the debt, right? Then you can just rebuild your emergency fund with that. In other words, you have to be covered no matter what. If let's just use the roundabout number $1,000. Let's say you have $1,000 to $2,000 sitting in the bank for just emergencies. Some people are comfortable with having more than that. And then you're deciding you want to pay off debts and you're just going to have that $1,000 or $2,000 sitting there as an emergency. Okay, we're in March. Let's say April comes around. And the money that you were going to throw toward the debt, there's an emergency. So you know you're taking money out of your emergency account that month. I'm going to take that money I was going to put toward the debt back into my emergency account, because that keeps you out of debt when emergencies pop up. So just a little system that I use. Emergencies, life happens to all of us. It just does. But you don't want to have to go into debt for the emergency. That makes the emergency even more of a pain, because now you had to pay that money. You were like, yeah, I have the credit card, I can do it. But interest rates on credit cards these days, woo! No, we should be trying to pay down as much debt as we can. Have some money in the bank though, depending on what your situation is too. So definitely, you should have an emergency fund. Everyone should have an emergency fund, by the way. It may have been on your vision board to build up your emergency fund, to start an emergency fund. If it wasn't, you may want to scribble it down at the bottom of the vision board. I can't tell you what your vision is. It's just something you might want to consider. Having an emergency account, life happens. I don't know anyone that life does not happen to. Life happens to us all. So, but based on the feedback that I got from last month's vision board video and from feedback that I got in the email, the main things were better health. They want to do better with their health, get finances going better, and just want to stay on task with some things they want to get accomplished. And that was pretty much it. That's usually the major thing with people. I know everyone has their specifics, but feeling better health-wise and getting your money right, that's usually way up there. For some people, it may be marriage and things like that. But hey, that's a spectacular thing. But I mean, if you get into the marriage and you broke down and you feeling bad, I mean, you still need to take care of your health. And you don't want to go into the marriage toe up financially. You know, it would help to be on, at least be on track or know what it is you want to do. But that's it. So yes, this is just a video to say, hey, stay on track. Do not give up. Even if life happens, still get back on track. That's still no excuse not to do what it is we know we want to do, because the things that are important to us are important. It's still important. So don't put it off. You are important. And other people, you know, you have to know that you're important. You can't expect just put it off on other people to know that. You have to know that too. And to know that, you have to back it up. Okay, we have someone with hurricane season a few months away. Get a game plan now. Okay, now I'm just going to say it. There are people who are going to see this video who are going to live other places too. But the majority of the ones who are on with me now live in a hurricane prone area. Now, how many hurricanes is it going to take for us to realize I don't know how many times you hear people saying, I just didn't have the gas money. I'm like, okay, either you're just choosing not to face reality, or you in a twilight zone somewhere, because we all know, we pray that no hurricane or crazy weather will come our way. But if it does, we have to have some money to be able to drive where we have to go, or however it is you do, or grab a hotel if you have to, because you never know what they're going to do in coming, to the assistance of anyone. Yes, this isn't new. Every year, June, honestly, to the end of November. Some of us cut it off sooner. June 1st to the end of November is hurricane season. For anyone on here who doesn't know. So yes, have an emergency fund. So for us, emergency fund means in case something happens and we have to have money for it. But for us, hurricane season is an automatic emergency fund each year. You would think so. I'm so glad you all brought that up. Have a game plan now. Yes, please have a game plan. And the number one game plan to have is have your money. Because depending on which direction the hurricanes come from, you don't know where you have to go. You might have to go further north. You might have to go east. You might have to go west. And when you get there, you might have to get an expensive hotel room. You never know what's going to happen. So you need money to do it. Hey, that's another little soapbox of mine. I'd be like, hey, hurricane season is no mystery. We all know it. June 1st to the end of November. Every year, hurricane season. So that was a very good point. That was a very good point. Hurricane season is just a few months away. Now, that has nothing to do with the vision board, but hey, it has something to do with the emergency account. And this channel is Purposeful Living. And this Doctors Wilbert and Gloria Scott Purposeful Living. So you know they are about handling your business, doing things with purpose, and doing it with gusto. That's why I'm just so adamant about this. I know the people who are in my circle. I said this last time. I really thought about it. I know the people who are in my circle. And there are going to be some who are going to see this video and I'm not going to know you personally. But for the most part, this channel was started because we know the people who are in our circle. And I know how amazing these people are. And I understand how life will happen sometimes. And amazing people will just sit back and those things that they could be doing, they just put to the wayside because they feel like there's so many other things that have to get done first. But no, that stops here because we have too many amazing, talented, insightful, inspirational people in this group. So now we have got to get on it and do the things we know we need to do. And no more pity parties. Let's just get it done. Even if life has been happening and we had to slow down and not get everything done, because I'm about to go now. But let's just get back on it and get some things done. Right? Okay. Amen. Cash on hand. When power goes out, you can't use the ATM. Don't even get me started. Yes. That is a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good point. Then we're going to go. Having cash on hand. But yeah, from the minute, now you keep cash on hand, but from the minute I realize that there is a storm in the Gulf that could seriously come our way, getting a little extra cash, then you can always put it back in the bank. Don't take it out and just spend it just to spend it, but keeping a little extra cash on hand would be a good thing. You don't need it, put it back in the bank, but always keep something. What about keeping cash at home in case of a cyber attack? That's another good thing too. Especially, well, God, it don't even have to be a cyber attack. You have a lot of things going on in the world now dealing with the banks and things like that. But I mean, if your institution is FDIC, federally insured, then you'll be okay. But in this day and time, you have to really be careful. You have a lot of scammers and things like that out there. I know this conversation is going way over here, but hey, we're asking about it, so we're addressing it. So you have to be careful. I'm not saying this is what anyone else has to do, but me personally, this may seem a little overboard, but I don't even use my debit card at gas stations anymore. I have a little Walmart debit card that I use if I travel and go to the gas stations, or I'll use a credit card. I don't even use my debit card that's attached to my money in the bank. I don't use it at these random gas stations and stuff where people can easily scam and take money. I personally don't do it. That's how far I go with it. But yeah, cash on hand is always a good thing. Yeah, and nowadays, tornadoes, safety, knowledge, and insurance. Definitely. There's all types of things. Yeah, tornadoes, all types of things we deal with now. Thank you, Doretha. You're right. I don't even use my debit card that's attached to my money in the bank at random ATMs. I mean, just wherever. Definitely not at gas stations. Never. Blocking credit. Yes, my credit bureaus are locked. Experian, what is it? Equifax, TransUnion. God forbid someone get my information. You cannot open an account, a credit account in my name. I can't even take out credit right now if I wanted to without unlocking those 3 bureaus. They're locked. And they can stay locked. Why? I'm not trying to take out any new credit. So why do they have to be open? Leaving your credit bureaus unlocked, and it's free, by the way. I know you have a lot of different services out there that's free. You can freeze your credit. It's free to do that. And no one can, and the reason I know no one can open an account in my name, if I even tried to go to a phone company and like get another cell phone or a cell phone company, because it happened to me one time, and they were like, we can't run your information. I said, oh, that's right. My credit is frozen. So yeah, that's a good thing to do to protect that. Okay. But well, that's great. Because I see now we come together and we talk about vision boards and we talk about different things we want to accomplish, but all types of questions are coming up. So that's great. Doctors Wilbert and Gloria Scott, Purposeful Living. So anything we can do as a group or a community to help each other and pass information along is always an amazing thing. So I'm glad about that. Okay, you guys, that's it. This has been Doctors. Oh, thank you. This has been Doctors Wilbert and Gloria Scott, Purposeful Living. Subscribe to the channel. I guess I should have been said that. But whenever we have a live, so you'll be notified, right? Subscribe, you can share it. And let's just grow together. Let's be accountable together and keep each other on track, because this is an amazing community. Okay, you guys, you have a great night. Until next time, bye.